Hope you all have had a good start to your week. This is Monday Morning Quarterback, episode 196. Tonight we are going to cover rear wheel spacing and what effects it has or non-effects on the scales and on the racetrack. So a little segment we filmed in the shop. Before we jump into that, we will answer a question. This is actually a question that Jack asked after filming last episode, and it's a very good one. When I say increase cross weight, what does that mean exactly? And that means I'm going to increase the left rear to right front percentage in the car. So more left rear weight than right rear weight, more right front weight than left front weight. So as you increase cross weight, you are going to add weight to the left rear and the right front. And if you're what we call Xing it in and out of the car, you would take weight out of your left front, right rear to have a greater cross weight percentage. So again, that's making your left rear weight greater when you increase cross weight. So good question there. Another question that came in from a user is, which was a good one going on tonight's topic, is there a min and max as far as rear wheel spacing? Like the farthest out you can go, the farthest in you can go. And that really is a high level, broad topic based on what exactly you're doing, what type of racing you're doing. Some series will have a max width rule. Sometimes you'll run right at that max width. There might be a max offset rule. Also, there is a kind of a point of diminishing return. Like when you get your right rear wheel in too far, if your track's slicking off and you're moving your right rear wheel in to get grip, you can get to the point where you have that wheel in too far and it doesn't make the car any tighter and actually makes it want to shove the nose. Maybe it wants to make it drive off the left rear too hard. So there is a point of in too far is too far. Like moving it in till the right rear tire is touching the torsion arm typically is going to be too far. So a more specific dimensional question or answer to that question, I should say, would be better suited probably with your chassis manufacturer, or I'm happy to answer it if it's something that I'm really familiar with, a micro midget, sprint car, quarter midget. But sometimes those are better answered by your chassis manufacturer. So without further ado, we're going to cut into tonight's video where we spent a little bit of time on the scales, moving wheels in and out to see what they would do statically on the scales, and the results might surprise you. So I hope you enjoy this little clip. All right, we're back out in the shop. Before we dive into tonight's topic, this one came from a viewer, and he had questions about moving right rear and left rear in and out and what it does to the scales. So we got Hudson's car here on the scales, but I wanted to bring up that point that, man, we're at like episode 196 now, and we want to keep bringing these to you guys every week. So keep the questions coming and topics you'd like to see, because that helps drive our content creation. So we've kind of scienced this out already, and it's actually one thing I've never done. When the guy asked, what's it do to your corner weights when you move your wheels in and out? Well, you don't move them in and out a ton on a dirt car. You know, throughout the course of the night, you might go a half or 3/4 of an inch would be the whole swing you would make from a heavy track to a slick track. Non-wing car, like a sprint car, you might go a little bit more. But on a micro, a half to 3/4 of an inch is probably all you're going to move the thing. And so I started with my base wheel settings. A few videos ago, we showed you a couple different ways to measure that. I prefer to measure from the edge of the torsion arm to the center line of the tire. So I set my spacing, scaled the car, then jacked it up, and basically went from full tacky to full slick, which for me is only a half of an inch. And it actually only moved the scale weight a couple of pounds. So that would drive the question of like, well, did it really do anything? Well, all we're really checking here is static weight, okay? So the important thing is when you move that right rear in, you're moving the leverage point, okay? And so dynamically on the racetrack, that's where it's really gonna tighten your car up when you get that right rear in farther. So if you're doing it on the scales while changing a torsion bar or changing block heights or corner heights or weight will make a dramatic change on the scales. Wheel spacing doesn't necessarily for dirt. Like I say, it does move it a couple pounds, but not enough for you to think. I think it was 0.2% of cross weight. But dynamically on the racetrack, as you move that right rear end, you're tightening the race car up. So man, if you like what we're doing here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and keep the suggestions coming. We're committed to bringing you a new topic every single Monday, 9 p.m. All right, so that was an interesting little segment there. I personally thought moving the tire in and out on the scales, and we were mindful to keep the scales at the same, in the same point on the tire. When we move the tire in, we move the scale in as well. I thought that it would change weights more than it did. It was just a few pounds. So that definitely tells you that moving your wheel in is more of a dynamic change. Changing that leverage point is what's really tightening the race car up. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends. We're doing these every Monday at 9 p.m. and we hope to see you back here next week.